I'm working in the New Perspectives Access 2007 textbook. I'm picking up on page 14. In the first tutorial, I have created the database. I've created my first table. I've input my first record. Now I'm going to input a few more records. And you're going to see a pause in the middle of this presentation while I input a bunch more records instead of doing them all on screen. And then we'll pick it back up again. So, to enter my next record, I'm in the contract num field and I'm working from page now AC15, and I'm going to put in my next record, which is 3026. I'll press my enter key. 11018. Press the enter or the tab key. Now, since I've already formatted this field for currency, I don't have to put in the dollar signs and the commas anymore. I just put in the number and Access will format it correctly for me. In the signing date field, since it's already formatted for date and time, if I put in 3 and 11 and then press my tab or my enter key, Access will insert the current year, which is 2010. If you want to insert a different year, 2009, 2011, you have to manually type that in. But if you're okay with the current year, you just put in the month and the date and press your enter or your tab key, and it'll put in the current year for you. I'll put in landscape, plans for large scale housing development. Again, if you want to see, it looks like I made a typing error there, and I'll fix that. But if you want to see the full length of the text, put your mouse pointer over the divider between the contract type and the Add New Field columns and double click. Now, I didn't make a typing error, but that's a good point. Access does have an option for you to check your spelling, and I just have to remember where it is. It's on the Home tab here, and I'll go to Spelling. It says the spelling is okay. Spell check only works in your data. It doesn't spell check your field names or other properties. It only works in your data. I'm going to pause this while I enter some more records, and so then when I come back, you're going to see more records. I took some time out to go ahead and finish entering the records that you see on page AC15. See that those are now entered. I have 8 records, and my cursor is in the 9th position here. On page AC15 it talks about saving a table. We've already saved the table. Data entered into an Access table is saved automatically. Now, it is always a good idea to move off the field that you've just finished entering the data into, but it is saved automatically. You don't have to save after entering data. But if you're in the habit of saving, don't break that habit, because everywhere else in Access you're going to have to save after you make changes. But data is saved automatically, either when it's entered in the table, a query, or a form. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this table and I'm going to reopen it. So note the position of the numbers here: 11, 26, 12, 15. I'm going to close this table. It's going to ask me if I want to save it. It's going to ask me if I want to save it because I made changes to the layout of the table. When you change the width of the column, like I changed the width of the column for the contract type, that changed the layout of the table. So I'll say yes. So I've closed the table. I'm going to come over to where it's located in my navigation bar, and I'm going to double click to open it. Notice the records are now in order by primary key: 11, 12, 15, 17. So when you close a table and reopen it, it will renumber the records either in order by primary key, or if there is no primary key, in order by the date and time in which those records were entered. Normally we have a primary key in a table, so you'll normally see that the records are ordered by the primary key order by default. Okay, so I'm going to click in the new to enter a new record. Now there's a couple of ways I can do that. Since it's a small table, I can just click there. I can also go up to in my records group on my home tab, I can click new and it'll take me there. I'm going to click back here. Or I can go down to my navigation bar at the bottom where it says record. I'm 7 of 8 and it works, you know, back, fast back, forward, fast forward, and new. So I'm going to enter a new record, and my new record is over on page AC16, and it's going to be 3020 with a customer ID of 11055 with an amount of 6,500, excuse me, 219. Oops. Every once in a while I mess up, and instead of just putting in the date and moving off the field, I put in the ending slash and then try to move off the field. I get an error message, and now I could acknowledge the error message by entering a new value, converting, or whatever. But you see, I know what error I made, so I'm going to hit my escape key. My escape key is going to remove the message. Now if I hit my escape key one more time, it's going to remove the entry. Escape in Access is going to be one of your best friends. And often when you get stuck in a loop, you know, it keeps and I will create a loop for you, and we'll do that in just a second. If you get stuck in a loop, Access is going to help you. Let me finish inputting this record, and then I'm going to create a loop type error for you. So I'm going to do 2-19, and we're going to call this landscape design for restaurant. Okay. I'm going to come down in this next field, and I'm going to enter something. And now it says index or primary key cannot contain a null value. So I'm going to go, okay, I'll get that out of there. I took it out. Why are you still unhappy? It's unhappy because it's trying to create, you tried to create a new record and you didn't finish it. Now's when your escape key comes in handy. What you want to do is you want to hit your escape key twice. But see the pencil over here? The pencil says that you're entering or editing a new record. So I'm going to hit escape, and I'm going to hit escape again. Oops, I need to be inside of my database. I was outside, sorry. Inside, escape, and escape again. Now, I can do something. Let's show you how I created that again. I accidentally put in an entry, and I took it out. But over here, it's asking for a primary key. A record cannot have a null value in the primary key field. And so it's going to keep nagging you until you do something or you get rid of that record. Even if you try to go over and delete the record, it won't let you. So I'm trying to get over here and delete it, and it won't let me. So what I want to do is hit my escape key. Normally once did it that time, but usually you're going to need to hit it twice. So just hit escape, escape when you get these loops coming up like this. Okay, and we will enter one more record, and we can all do that offline. It's over on page AC17. And so we have completed opening Access, creating a database, and we have to create a database because a database is the container. You can't have a table without a database to put it in. So we've opened Access, we've created a database as our container, and we've created a table object and put it inside of our database. That's the end of this segment.